What's good? You're now rocking with Big Wave, aka Soundwave, aka just came from London still. And just got back from Lite Fest, man. It's a great opportunity. Fantastic event. There's not much I could say other than everybody did their very best. We saw some amazing dancing, saw some amazing competition. You know yours truly what I did, but that's besides the point. What I will say is that the community was one of the most impactful things that I've noticed. Like, the community in the UK is very, very, very strong, and they got mad love for New York. So if there's any misconception that you feel about New York and UK, just know that they got love for us out here, man. And I appreciate every single person that I met in Swindon, Bristol, and London. Shout out to all of y'all. Is there any things that was a highlight for you, Mo?
I mean, there was plenty of highlights. Like, I feel like every time Supercell touched the floor that was a highlight for me, because he made me feel like home again. Like, it felt like a New York City Litefeet battle whenever he stepped on the floor. Ishika, like, whenever she stepped on the floor, it felt like T-Night. It felt like COL. You get what I'm saying? So, yeah, I think the best thing was going over to the UK with like no expectations. So I couldn't be, you get what I'm saying? I could only be impressed. I couldn't be let down in a sense because I had zero expectation. I took it for what it was, and I enjoyed every moment. I enjoyed every bit of it. So,
Shout out to Ishika and Supercell.
yeah, it's so many to shout out. We already,
so many that we
yeah.
made and other videos in the future too.
Facts. Like, we made a video when we was getting on the flight to come back to New York, and we shouted so many of you guys out, like so many of you guys that stuck out to us. So much love. And I just think the conversation at this point is just like, New York City has to find that love again, because the culture was so welcoming and the environment was so positive that, it took you back to the golden era because of that. We don't get that no more. We don't get that positive Litefeet energy. And then in the same breath, it's like we look at,
especially that much from the youth.
yeah,
Because I want to add on to what you're saying. Okay, with the New York scene, it's a lot of professionalism, right? But then it's also a lot of ego. People feel entitled. People feel like they don't need to be participate in certain things. But it's fine. Like, we all have our own choice in life, especially as young adults. However, like, when it comes to bridging the gap between the younger generation and the older generation, the UK tends to do that more successfully in this era because they have way more welcoming environments in place for the kids to enjoy themselves and for the adults to look at that as a positive space as well. I'm not saying that there's negative spaces in the city. I'm just saying that there's a lack of positive vibes, you know what I'm saying, and just good vibes all around. Like, but shout outs to everybody that's still making strides in the city and still doing events in the city as well, because we still need them. I just feel like there's just a little difference that I'm noticing between how we carry ourselves here and how they carry themselves out there. Skill wise, we're always gonna be New York. They could never be us, but at the same time, we gotta show them love because they showing us nothing but love, and that's the main point. It's like there's no reason to even like have any kind of like disdain or like I don't want to say like a hate, because that's a strong word, but like a annoyance or something behind seeing other people do our style, or other countries do our style, when all they're doing is just trying to develop in a healthy way like we did.
For sure. Yeah, I think it's a big emphasis on, when we say all of these things, we're not saying that people are better dancers.
Right.
You know what I mean? We just saying the culture is thriving better. And at this point, I'm here to just say it's not about an excuse on our side. It's about just, let's get it right. Let's get it right.
Get back to those vibes.
Let's figure it out. I'm not saying nobody's the cause. I'm not saying nobody's the problem. I'm just saying get back to, just loving the culture and figuring out how we can get everybody to perform at a high level. But otherwise, there's obviously people who look promising. There's people who like are so close to getting over that hump that they have. You know, they literally right there. There's some that's just like, oh, their growth is gonna be insane, you know, because they look so much like a New York City dancer already, you know, and that's a big shout out to guys like Swiss, shout out to guys like Crybaby, shout out to Kieran, you know, shout out K Fam, shout out Has Money,
Shout out Has Money to
Swish Light.
Look out for Has Money. He's a problem.
Shout out to UDA, TOF, I believe it is, Synergy,
Synergy, my fault.
Synergy, Spank Mafia.
Right.
And that's just, I'm like shouting out teams right now, like teams and dance companies, because there's dance companies that are getting their students to believe in Litefeet and loving what Litefeet is, to actually get them to come to learn, you know.
As an entire company.
Yeah, for
you know,
sure.
Like it's one thing to see your dance team, favorite dance team of 5 or 6 members pull up and support, but it's another thing to see 30, 40, 50 kids from a school pull up on the same time. And not to say that, you know what I'm saying? It's just different. It's cool to see. It's not normal, you know, especially coming from where we come from, to go travel this far and to see how thriving it is. Like, I wish everyone has the opportunity to come to Lite Fest and really enjoy it. And if you do get the opportunity, just know that it's nothing but bare good vibes out there. All right, there's not much else I could really say other than that it was a great time, and I'm very tired. But other than that, we having a great time, man. Yeah. And that was your little segment from Soundwave, and this is from Trains
To Planes, baby.